council meeting to order. We do a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, Mrs. Frank.
Mayor Kindle,
Present.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Present.
Councilman Jenny.
Here.
Councilwoman Pratt.
Here.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Present.
Councilman Toussaint.
Present.
Acting City Manager Szymanski.
Here.
City Attorney DeWally.
Here.
Okay.
All right, I need a motion to approve the minutes.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll offer the motion to accept, receive, and file the minutes of the regular city council meeting held June 9th, 2025.
Cheryl.
Who supported?
Support.
Sorry.
All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. This takes us to public comments on agenda items only. You can step up to the mic to speak on the agenda items only.
Madam Mayor, may I say something at this time about the agenda?
Okay.
I had been informed by a friend who sent me a picture of comments that were made on a website, and I think that it applies to our agenda. The comments implied that the city council is up to something, that I don't know if the intention was to make it sound like we do something secretive, but when the city posts our agenda, that's when we get it. And all of the supporting documents that you see on the agenda is everything that we have. There is nothing additional that we get. There are no secret meetings that we have. And I want to make that clear because we don't determine what's on the agenda. We don't write the agenda, we receive it, and our job is to act on it. And so we have to read the supporting documents and determine what the city needs to do. And I want to make that clear because the comments that were posted online made it sound as if we are in cahoots and we're doing something that's not right. So everything you see, you get from the city the same day we get it. We don't get anything more than what's posted. And as a matter of fact, if we were trying to get away with something, we don't even have to give that. The only thing we have to do is post the bare minimum agenda. We don't have to give any of the supporting documents. But we feel as a council that our residents have the right to contact us in advance of a meeting, to make comments here before a meeting begins, to give us their input on the things that we have to vote on. And so I just want to make that clear because I was very annoyed when I was sent this by a friend. That's all, Madam Mayor.
Well, I concur with what you have brought out, Vivian, because we would be in violation of the Open Meetings Act, and that is a stiff penalty that we would not like to bring to our city. So therefore, everything that we do is above board. For anyone to insinuate anything differently is dishonest, disrespectful, and disingenuous. Have at it.
Hello, my name is Teresa Foster. I live on Woodland. I'd like to address new business number 3, appointment of city manager. It's interesting that such an important appointment of our community has been hastily introduced at a reduced summer session monthly meeting. It was stated by our ACM at a prior council meeting after being questioned that the candidate for a permanent city manager position was in the mix and being considered for the position. Also stated at the time that it wasn't important. Now, on a whim, the ACM is requesting to be appointed to the position of permanent city manager. It appears that misleading information has been presented to the public related to the search for a full-time city manager. And if appointed as permanent city manager, how much additional misleading information should the public expect moving forward as to severance pay, termination request? to be considered and included with the appointment of a full-time city manager position. The question, and more so a gray area, arises to why. More so, why the inclusion of the city clerk employment agreement in the same resolution, as the appointment to a full city manager seems odd considering they are two different employment positions. Why is this important to do this right now? And what are the residents not being told? Thank you.
Hello, Kristen Olin Sullivan, Country Club Drive. I have two items I'd like to address. The first one, item G1, the Community Center update. On page 3, paragraph 1.1.3, it appears that the city of Harper Woods is now agreeing to pay over $8 million toward the building of a proposed community center. This seems much higher than the original plan and does not include costs for continual daily and annual building maintenance or staffing once the center opens. You have stated that our taxes would not be raised or impacted by this project. Could you please explain in detail your plan for where this funding is coming from? The next item, G3, the appointment of the city manager. This has been an issue for literally years, and you have had months to take action toward hiring an actual city manager, yet nothing was done. Why are you just now promising to advertise the position? Mr. Szymanski announced his plans for retirement months ago. Why wasn't a search started at that time? Why has it taken so long to address this issue, and why is it so urgent tonight that Mr. Szymanski be appointed effective immediately as city manager? I urge you all, if you can't or won't vote down this agenda item, at least table it until basic questions can be answered. Thank you.
Hi, I'm basically the same thing on here. Madam Mayor, you said $8 million, and that's not enough. Just like she said, you need another $15 million for all the other things: maintenance, electric, water, gas, employees, people to run the place. Now, I'm asking you, do you have the $8 million? Because I'm damn not sure going to pay anything on my taxes. This is baloney. And here, this is what it says right here, what you're trying to vote on tonight. Because you already got an architecture company, and I don't even know if you have the money. It says, Harper Woods Community Center Agreement with Hanna and Associates, Architecture, beginning pages 82 through 214. Do you have the money? If you don't, you can't build it. I'm not paying anymore. I guarantee you that. Now, on this city manager stuff, it's come to my attention that he keeps putting it off and off and off. If he puts it off long enough, him and the city clerk are going to get I don't think they know that they're going to get legacy pay. And what legacy pay is, what you took away from the fire and the police. They're going to get, if he does that, he's going to get a year's salary without even doing anything. He'd say, I can retire. So my question to him right now, and it's a yes or no question: do you want to be city manager? Right, left hand yes, right hand no. There's no in between anymore. You've been hemming and hawing too long. That's what we need to know. And as far as this, if you go through with this community center, you're going to have hell to pay. Because I guarantee nobody in this whole damn building's ever been before the Supreme Court of the United States. But I have. 9-0 for the Teamsters Local 1038 downtown, beer distributors. The biggest lawsuit in the United States of America. Each company, 6 of them, $3.5 billion they put in escrow. Now, if none of you know what an escrow account, that's your problem. But I'm guaranteeing you, you're going to have hell to pay. Because I just got my taxes, and what happened? Oh, the last meeting, we're promising the taxes are going down. I hit a record, over $1,000 for that summer tax. And I guarantee none of you know even how that all came about. 1972-73. We were always paying taxes. But what happened? That city council listened to the people. We couldn't afford it. We needed to do it in 2 terms. Well, what they wanted to call that was school tax. And that's actually what that tax is supposed to be, but they called it summer tax. Because back then, you had to live in this city to go to any one of the schools, because they were getting money from the state. So that's what I'm telling you right now. This is baloney. If you don't have the money, don't even do this, because I will not pay anything.
Good evening, Council. Greg Bargo, Woodland. going to address the Harper Woods Community Center, agenda item number 1. And my approach is going to be more from possible pitfall and budget savings when you're hiring one entity to do the building. Okay. So we'll start with possible pitfall. Typically architects, architectural firms, some are design build, yes. But what they do is they provide design service, collaboration with a GC, general contractor, and oversight. And with our own library, we know what a lack of oversight does when that project took forever to get the basement repaired. So when you give one entity all that power, there is no oversight. They don't need collaboration. They're in charge themselves. Okay. So now when you get two entities, you have a separate GC along with an architect. That's where you can use the architect for oversight, and you have a lot of control. Now, when it's one entity, which I noticed in the contract, I was reading through it, they're entitled to 15% of the general contractor fee costs. So, let's just put a number on it. If it's, now we're short money to build this thing anyway. If we're looking at $7 million, what's 15% of $7 million? You're giving that to the architectural firm. The GC, they all have profit. They all put profit on everything. So you're allowing a one entity firm to put profit on profit. So my suggestion is, look at this, possibly separate it, separate general contractor, and keep the architect. Well, we're not saying anything with the architecture firm, right, wrong, indifferent, but you're going to save money, and you probably accrue some of the money that we're short. That's the way I can see it. But 15% of $7 million is $1 million. Thank you.
Hello, Scott Dornbrock at Country Club. I was looking at the agenda for the new items tonight. We're specifically talking about G3. And the explanation summary just kind of like, I was asking myself a lot of questions. If our acting city manager was, I don't mean this negatively, if this was a qualified candidate, why wasn't he offered the job years ago? Something about this, I don't know if you want to call it rush, but the language in the explanation summary, just something doesn't seem right. I don't know what it is. I don't have the information to make any accusations, but you know, they're talking about termination and if this happens, and which to me doesn't, I'm trying to understand why that's related to the appointment of a city manager. And if they are, if everyone's known that John is going to have been retired, whether it was this year or next year or last year, I'm not really sure, why wasn't the search done to get resumes, to find qualified candidates, to find the appropriate candidate while you're still here? That way you can knowledge transfer, you can get that person up to speed. So I'm actually asking you to table this item, and if John is a qualified candidate, he should submit himself for the position, along with the other candidates that have applied. How many resumes have you received so far for this position? Can you answer that?
This is public comment. We're listening.
Okay. My question is, if you've received, if you have known you are retiring, you should have been posting it on LinkedIn, Monster, whatever the appropriate sites are for a city municipal job. And I would think that if you were actively knowing you're going to retire, the activity should have been going on that you're going to actively look for a position, for a replacement. And if you think that you're that qualified for this position, why weren't you given the job 2 years ago, or however long you've been the acting city manager? So it's my suggestion that each one of you vote no and table this item until we can get, I shouldn't say qualified, get the right candidate for the position, especially if we know John's retiring.
Hi, can you hear me? Sheila Hakeem, I live on Littlestone. Agenda item 3 requests that the ACM be appointed city manager effective immediately.
I can't hear you.
I'm extremely curious about what makes this so urgent that it cannot wait, and feel that there's more that we just don't know. The ACM also requests a year's severance pay for himself and the city clerk in the event their employment agreements are terminated. These contracts have been in place for a lot of years, so the timing and substantial severance pay increases raise a lot of questions. The amounts are excessive, and there do not appear to be any limitations, such as excluding severance pay if terminated for cause. It would also be premature to make a decision right now because there are serious legal matters pending against the city, in which both of these individuals played major roles. And the ramifications of their actions are unknown at this time. More information will become clear, though, as cases continue. One such case is Altum, which was filed as a result of the cannabis licensing process and has been in litigation since February 2024. Plaintiffs have amended their complaint to include violations of the Open Meetings Act, comparing the actions of Harper Woods to the city of Warren in their licensing. It also cites a 2024 Michigan Supreme Court case, which was instrumental in the city of Warren allowing unlimited dispensaries. A key hearing is scheduled for August 28th at 10 o'clock. This will be a determining factor on the direction of the case. There's a lot at stake, so it would be prudent for the city council to wait and get more information before making a decision. I've obtained a copy of the event log for the circuit court. You're free to look at, Madam Mayor.
He was running there for a little while. We really don't have things in.
Hello. I guess congratulations is in order. I just didn't know. All right, my name's Dino Masheri. I live 14 houses from here on Eastwood. I've been in my house 35 years, and if I live long enough, I'll be there another 35. My issue is, and I was here 2 years ago with the same issue, and that is the lack of traffic enforcement on Eastwood.
This is not on the agenda.
Now,
It's wrong agenda.
Sir, it's not time for public comment. It's
I've asked 3
what's
people
on
if this
the
is
agenda.
new business.
It's on the agenda. It's not public comment. So you have to wait until the end of the agenda taken care of and come back with your public comment. Because right now, we're only listening to those that have some issue with what is on the agenda.
Okay, well,
Okay, thank you.
sorry, I didn't know the protocol, and
That's okay.
I did ask 3 or 4 people.
Not a problem.
All right. Okay.
Good evening, April.
Good evening, George Cotton. And our comment is about the community center. And if the 8 million or 5 million are not available, can these funds be used for future operations such as maintenance, security, etc.? And if one of the schools, maybe Beacon or Tyrone, maybe there's low class enrollment, if that can be used as a community center? And did you have anything else?
And then the other question is, due to us both being a part of the Parks and Rec, or the Recreation Advisory Board, will the residents be surveyed again? We thought that was really important from the previous architects, and it's really important to get the residents' opinions, to get the residents' opinions and get their thoughts, given that the dollar amount may potentially change, and given that, you know, the house has changed significantly, those funds may not be available. Also, is it possible to include the Recreation Advisory Board in meetings that you have with the Parks and Rec Director and other council members? That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you. once again, it's agenda items only.
Madam Mayor.
Hi, Mark Modlin, 21160 Hunt Club. So again, saw the agenda, and I guess I share concerns with others regarding the item G3, the city manager position. And enough others have asked why I have the same question. And again, I'm just thinking if the city manager is qualified, this wouldn't be such a big decision, but it just doesn't seem right. And again, I just had a few talking points to support at least what I see. I see this city in decline in general. The city manager affects that trend. Like, for example, I look at the landscape around City Hall. I don't see any pride there. I really don't. I look at the ordinances not being enforced. When I called the police a little while ago just to report an ordinance violation, the response was, what am I supposed to do about it? Okay? I see issues where the DPW's responsibility to address...
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Sir. What does your comment has to do with what's on the agenda?
The comments apply to the city manager position and the qualifications of him, or qualifications of that position, and that the qualifications are not being met, and that feeds into the community concern over why are we making this decision now for somebody that I'm listing out points of competency. Okay, so I just had a couple more. Again, I get the apathetic response from the police department. I see where the DPW's job is to fix and repair key items around the neighborhood. I see a house that is, the foundation's literally crumbling, and the inspectors are supposed to inspect these properties. None of that's getting done. And so again, the city manager manages these departments, and I don't see that happening.
All right, this takes us to consent agenda. Sir, it's a timely manner, so you should have gotten up, but you can come.
Okay, I got it. I'm here.
In the future.
All right, I'm here for 2 minutes. Okay, apparently I have no issue with the city manager whatsoever, or any other things that are happening with the monies, but I wonder if we're spending the money the right way. If the city's got this money, why aren't we looking at a police officer, code enforcement officer? The city needs to have a code enforcement at minimum, because it's not being done, and the monies could be spent better that way. I understand that you're talking about a city manager and the severance package and adding another cost with an associate for him, okay? And then that's a lot of money. And why are we not using that money in better ways? A code enforcement officer, I've heard in the past that, we have problems when we come and do the code enforcement because people get upset, pull a gun, whatever. Do we want these people in our city? It's up to you. Now, is this what we really want? Because if we have that money to spend, is it better to spend it on other things? That's all I got to say. Thank you.
All right, that's the end of the public comments right now, and we'll move on to consent agenda. I need a
Madam Mayor?
resolution.
Madam Mayor, can I make the resolution to approve the consent agenda items 1 through 12.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, I've just got a quick question about 2 items, well, and a comment about a third. Drive Creative Services, I'm just curious about why the cost is so high this month. I understood the January cost due to the calendar, and having that sent out. April cost was down to $8,500, and this is at $12,000. So I was just curious as to why it's costing more now. I understand that it'll be more in the future because of postage costs going up, but I was hoping to get some idea of why the Drive Creative Service costs are so high this time.
It's the biggest issue that we've had, and you're right about the postage cost. Combining both of those things together, this is the price of, a newsletter.
Okay. I also, in terms of Drive Creative, I know they've told us before that advertising would help to reduce the cost. And so I'm hoping that perhaps someone from Drive Creative could come in and just kind of give us an explanation of, the advertising costs and that kind of stuff, and whether it's balancing out for us. I do like having the newsletter. I think residents appreciate it. But I'm just a little concerned about the costs continuing to increase. A second comment has to do with the cost of Third Monarch. It's on page 12, number 132735. I know that we're paying this company to represent us, and I'm wondering what value they've provided.
Okay, I can tell you this, that I received a direct communication from a very, very high-ranking federal official with millions of dollars attached to it that they were responsible for.
Oh, good. I'm hoping to hear more about
That's something that a
that.
lot of people, except the architects, we know this. We're stacking the financing. Okay? That's something that's getting convoluted in this whole discussion. No taxes are going to be raised for the community center.
And the third comment just has to do with number 12. I was very pleased to see that we have 2 police cadets
Yes.
that are going through the program. So that's really an encouraging step. I know that a number of different cities are really searching for police.
And still in ours.
This is, it's nice to hear that we have 2 cadets coming along. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any further discussions? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, this takes us to old business, and since we have none, I go to new business and city manager's report.
Okay, new business, item G1, agreement, Harper Woods Community Center, Hannah Architects, Mayor and Council. Presented before you is the agreement between the City of Harper Woods and the architects, Hannah and Associates, who have designed the facility and will coordinate the scope of services provided by the city and the city's consultants in regard to the construction of the Harper Woods Community Center. This agreement has been reviewed for form and content by the city attorney, and it is recommended to be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
They will do their presentation first,
Sure, that's fine.
and then we'll go from that.
Good afternoon, everybody. Sorry for my back to you. Okay. My name is Beverly Hannah. I am President and CEO of Hannah Architects. We have gone through the process of being selected as the architect for your city.
He needs to move his seat if he can't see. It's
Huh?
not, we need to have you speak into the mic.
Huh? Okay, can everybody hear me? Okay,
Yeah, you're
perfect.
speaking to us, okay, they can see on the
Okay.
monitor.
All right, so-
If the gentleman behind you can't see and wish to see,
Page 88.
then he needs to move over in another chair.
Bob, can you turn it up a little bit, please?
Okay.
This terrible sound system here.
He's going to adjust the microphone, Beverly.
Or a little boombox, I'll take it when I can.
Testing, testing, testing. Something told me to bring my- Okay, is that better? I'll just talk louder. Is that better?
Oh, that's better.
Okay, you want me to talk loud? Yeah, that's it. I'll take it less. Okay, all right, so we're happy to be here to present this, and it's certainly our intention to have the community.
Beverly, you're speaking to the council people. They're the ones gonna be voting on this.
Okay, it's certainly our intention to have the community
we're trying-
engaged in this process
Right.
and happy about the community center. So
understand.
we're here to give you a project overview, to talk to you a bit about the process and our resulting design direction. We've been at this for a few months, and my team, I'm the president, this is my VP of Architecture and my VP of Design, so we're here to kind of present it to you as part of and we'll all be here for questions.
Hi guys, can everybody hear me? Okay, all right, just remind me to talk loud. Sometimes I mumble. Okay, so as Beverly said, we're here to present our designs for the community center, and just wanted to let you know kind of the process that we did and how we came about the design. And it certainly wasn't just us, and it was with our project team here at Harper Woods. And we just want to say that as we started this project, you know, the key things that came to mind was the community center will become a beacon for community pride, fostering engagement, education, and immersion into the existing park, and really reflect the woods and its residents. So we just wanted to show you a little bit of background of the site. Obviously, you guys are very familiar with the site at Salter Park. But we want you to know that we did do some research regarding the demographics, the city, the context, all the buildings around the park, and a lot of the architecture within the city. And I know you guys can't read this very well, but we did a lot of site analysis. We looked at a lot of the existing, the main entry of the park. We also looked at, you know, the views into the senior center and how you enter into the park, and also did sun studies to understand how can we utilize natural light as much as possible to be more efficient within the building and to celebrate a lot of that natural light inside the building. So from there, this analysis came about, is that we really want to keep and remain the existing park on the north part of the site, to remain as the playground in the park area. We still wanted to maintain the view and connection to the senior center, and we wanted to create a building facade that really accentuated that connection to the park and to the senior. So what you see in that pink kind of funny shaped rectangle there is kind of our buildable area and an opportunity where we want to build along that site. So when it comes to program, these are bubble diagrams, and really what it's telling us is that the biggest circle there is the gym, so that we understand spatially how much square footage we need. The second largest circle there is community-based, so thinking about community rooms, meeting rooms, and all those other smaller circles are the support spaces for these bigger items. So the gym would have a locker room, lots of storage, and the community center would have storage as well, administration offices, and, you know, facilities like toilet rooms and a kitchen to support the community center. So as we said, this is rooted in history, thriving in nature. Harper Woods Community Center is a hub for culture, connection, and conservation in Salter Memorial Park. So that was kind of our basis of design. We always wanted to remember the words culture, connection, and conservation as we started to design the building. We just also wanted to say, you know, again, we didn't do this ourselves. We had our project team here at Harper Woods, and we started to vision together what they wanted. So we showed them a lot of imagery, a lot of pictures of other community centers, a lot of parks, and a lot of, you know, specialty spaces like community centers, just to understand the look and feel and their vision of what they wanted the space in the building to look like. And so from there, we created these words. So a lot of these words came about several times. So this is kind of a diagram to show the bigger words were really important to the project team. So if you look at it, it's accessible, sustainable, holistic, inviting, and welcoming, and inclusive. Those were our main goals to make sure that we always did that throughout the design of the community center. These are just follow-up images to show that we did study the context of the park and the city itself. We looked into the history of Harper Woods, the old drive-in theater. We kind of understood a lot of what was existing. We also looked at a lot of the community programs that happened within Harper Woods and really got to understand what was important as part of that community center aspect, but also the fitness, the recreation, and the health and wellness of the city. And then obviously here again, talking about fitness and the type of outdoor and recreation events happen. So from there, we gathered all that information. We honed in on the program itself to be as efficient as possible, and then created the site and the location of the building. So what you see here in blue, or light blue, is the gymnasium with some support spaces like the locker rooms. In the middle, the very middle, is looking at reception and offices, things that need to be run within the building. And then when you see in light pink, that is the community space. So community rooms. And if I zoom in a little closer to look just at the building, starting on the left there, that's an image of the gymnasium. It is a high school size basketball. We also studied what else can we do in there and how multi-purpose can we make this gym. So if you see in the upper right corner there, it fits 3 pickleball courts, a volleyball court as well, and then within that space there's spectator seating and storage that will accommodate a lot of these functions and be able to store it away so that it can be very multi-purpose. What else you see here in the pink, kind of in the north part of the building, is a lounge area. So we're trying to be very efficient with space. So when we say lounge area, it's actually circulation space. It's a hallway, but it's oversized so that it can function in multiple ways. It can be a gathering space, it could be a small event space, or it could be, where everybody takes their fitness walks and does some circuit training along that hallway. So we're trying to be efficient with the space and make it multi-purpose as well. Some other spaces within this building, if you look on the far right, that's the community side. So all that pink and the different shades of pink include 2 meeting rooms that can house about 30 people each. And then right adjacent to that is a commercial kitchen so that it can support any of those meeting spaces. And those meeting spaces, there are 2, but they actually, in between the walls, they open up so it can be one large space. Other things in this plan are the administration offices for the Parks and Rec, and locker rooms to support the gymnasium. One thing, just to talk about the shape of this, we really did an analysis of the natural light and how the site is positioned with north, south, east, and west to understand how much daylight we can get without having too much glare, especially in the gym. As kids are playing basketball, we didn't want to worry about any glare that affects any games. So we were very mindful of how this sits within the axes. We also were mindful about trying to connect this site with the senior center. So this elongated shape really starts to connect the park with the senior center. Okay. Yeah. Is that? Oh, yeah. Yeah, one other aspect of this design is that it's meant, or it's capable of being expandable. So you can, as future comes and you have more, more program that you need to put on this site, this is actually capable of adding on and having additions and still create this kind of very communal, connected building.
talk real quick about the exterior materials. Sorry, can you hear me? So one of the things we want to make sure is, as we talked about before, is we want to make sure that there's several aspects of these materials that we want to take in consideration. One being cost, but then the most important is that they're sustainable. We want to make sure that we're friendly towards our environment, so we want to make sure that those materials are sustainable. We also want to make sure that they're local. There's a lot of tariffs that are going on. There's a lot of extra costs that's being added to the materials that go into a building. So we want to make sure that the materials that we use are manufactured locally or supplied locally. So that'll help with the cost, but that'll also help with some of the ideas of what we're trying to do with the overall building. And then I always want to make sure that it fits to the city. As we said, we had taken tours around the area. We know what the city context is, what the materiality is of the city. So we want to make sure that those are also reflected in the materials that we put on this building. And then we also want to just kind of reflect the things that we had talked about with our team and all the meetings that we had, that the materials that we use, there was a certain desire, a certain way that they liked the materials and how they came together and what they looked like, and they thought they reflected well within the community. So again, that's what we use. So looking at these materials, it's kind of straightforward, not a lot of materials. We have some standing seam metal roof and walls. We have some wood cladding that will go on the building. And then we have CMU. We have split face CMU and smooth face CMU, and then some metal panels.
So taking that materiality in mind, this is kind of the view as you enter or drive into the main drive. This is what your first sight of the building. So very much in the foreground there is the gymnasium. You can see it as a 2-story high building, and the idea again is to bring in as much natural light as possible. So we have clear story windows up above there, and also being mindful, keeping track of where the sun is to make sure during game times there is no glare. But we also do have some windows on the lower level of that gymnasium too to bring in some light. You can see on way far in the background is that community wing, very elongated part of the building, and that starts to create the community center, the lounge area, and then the back of house functions like the locker room, storage, and etc. And kind of in the foreground here, as we kind of go back to the vision and the idea of the design, it's really to let and appreciate the recreation part of it, looking at the health and wellness of the community. So trying to bring in the walking path that was existing and tying that into a lot of outdoor and indoor activities as well. This is an image of that lounge area. So basically it's that oversized hallway that connects the community wing to the gymnasium. You can see on the left-hand side there is some built-in benches, lots of power. This is really to signify, come in, you're welcome to sit here, plug in if you need and if you want to work here, but this is a community space that all is welcome. And on the right-hand side, those large walls are an opportunity for local art and local art culture. So as you walk into the main door, you're kind of looking right straight into the reception desk. So kind of looking at the reception desk, if you go through kind of to the left of that opening, that becomes the community wing. And if you turn right, that takes you to the gymnasium. But again, using opportunities for large walls to have local artists put murals or artwork or anything like that. And you can see we're trying to incorporate wayfinding within the architecture and bringing in some color on the floor to signify, if you take so many steps, this is how much, how many miles you've gone. So we're utilizing that long corridor and lounge area for that. This is another view of that, but really in the very background there's an opening, a door, and that's into the gymnasium. Again, looking at that long bench, this is that lounge area that can be multi-purpose to be an event space and other things. And again, here in this corridor, we have clear story windows as well to bring in as much natural light as possible. Here's a view of the gymnasium. So again, it's a high school-sized basketball court. There is lots of windows, clear story windows up above to bring in some light. And you can see that there is also spectator seating on the left-hand side. And then there's a view of the women's locker room as well.
So here's the fun part. Here's the estimate that we've done. Part of our responsibility as we're going through the design is at the end of each of our phases, we have a schematic design, design development. At the end of each one of those phases, we would do an estimate. And to do that, we went out and procured some services from another general contractor in the area. And his goal was just to do some pre-construction services. So he would do an estimate for us. He would also look at the drawings, do some constructability reviews. But so he did two estimates for us, one at the end of schematic design, and then he did another one at the end of design development, which is where we're currently at with our drawings. And so this is the estimate that reflects that. Can I read those numbers? Yeah, so but the budget's made up of several different estimates, basically. So you have a construction cost, which is your building. Your main construction cost is the building. And then you have a site estimate or cost. And then you have another part of this project. We have a commercial kitchen, so that's another budget number, estimate number. And then you have your overall general contractor number. So he has an estimate for what his services would be for that. So when you look at the construction cost, which would say is just the building, we're at $5.4 million. When you look at the site cost for the site construction, we're at $737,000. When you look at the kitchen design and what goes into that, we came out at $156,000. So the overall, we'll call it the construction cost, which is just your building, not including what your general contractor cost would be, you're at $6.3 million. So once you then, after that, you would add into your other, we'll call it, there's some direct cost, indirect cost from which a general contractor would add to the budget, the project budget. So he's got a contingency of 10%, he's got permits cost, and then he has staffing, just over his overhead costs, everything that he needs to be able to do the project. So that came out to $1.1 million. And again, that's this contractor, he's not the one doing the project, he's just giving you a number for, okay, this is how much a general contractor would cost. We still have to go off of that number. And so the whole project cost or the project number budget came out to $8.2 million, basically.
I want to add one thing. I do want to add one thing. When you look at our contract, our services are divided into 5 phases. Schematic design, design development is where we are. Construction documents, bidding and award, and then construction administration. And I heard one gentleman speak to 15%. That's not a construction ad. That is our phase for construction administration. And that gives you our total number. And our total fee for the whole project is less than 5%. It is not 15% on top of anything. So just to get that clarity as to the phases where we are, and the contractor has not been selected. So these soft costs will have to be bid out to the contractor that you select.
It's just one more thing I wanted to point out. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Quick question.
Yes.
Just, I noticed that you've given us a few comparables.
Yeah.
Redford Township, Ferndale, Van Buren Township, their total square footage, and their cost per square foot.
Correct.
Why is your estimated cost per square foot so much lower than the ones that are actually done?
That's basically what we did, our due diligence, to make sure that when we're doing this project, that we pay attention to the materials, we pay attention to the systems, we pay attention to a lot of the different things that can drive up the cost of a project. And so we've done our best to try and lower that, so that's why we're at the square footage costs compared to these other projects. And we knew that going in, that this was gonna be a project that was gonna have some special funding, and that we're gonna have to make sure the cost was low. So that's basically what was reflected. So that was just another study. So in the beginning of this project, we knew, let's look at some local projects we know are going on currently that are either under construction or gonna be in construction in the next year. What was their project cost? And so that's why we kind of did that comparison, just so that we had a good idea to make sure that we were being responsible.
And what is the square footage on this facility?
13,611.
And so we're looking at that about $600 a square foot compared to the other ones. Some of those are over 700. And we did things like we used heavy wood timber as opposed to the steel that we knew that cost would be high on. So there's a lot of materials that we used alternates to get the price to where it was as efficient as Jim is saying. I think that's it.
Are there any other questions from the city council members? Yes?
I know we've got more than one source of income to help pay for this, but I'm wondering if for some reason it comes out higher. Is there like one part of this, could we do it in 2 phases if we needed to?
We looked at that.
So that we,
Yeah, we've looked at that possibility, and we've already discussed that with the architect.
Okay.
The only challenge in in separating the gym from the community area
Right.
is the rooftop HVAC units are on the gym. So we would have to be creative in where we put those units if we do one piece before the other. But we can work that out. We've talked about that briefly.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes.
Madam Mayor, in terms of the gym, I mean, we have schools in the area that all have gyms in them. I know that we're not using the school gymnasiums the way we used to. I'm just curious as to why we're building in, you know, the locker rooms and all this stuff as if they were competitive spaces. I don't anticipate that they're going to be competitive spaces the way that it might be for a school.
That's not necessarily, the gymnasium would be a place that you would do, say, indoor pickleball. It would be a place that you do yoga or, you know, other things that you need a large space for. That's one of the reasons why we would do a gymnasium. You know, we have, not a full court, but, you know, we have a basketball court outside. But there are things that you do more in the gymnasium than you can do in an outside basketball unit. So that's the reason why any recreational center always generally have a gymnasium, and you could do that for a lot of different things.
Plays.
You know, so it's a lot of different sports that we could do in there. It's just not for basketball, volleyball, any of those things. But mainly it's a place where the entire community can use to do any kind of group activity. It's not limited to basketball. And we do not have access to public schools anymore since the pandemic. There's also security reasons that we just cannot allow the general public access to public schools anymore as it was back in the days when we just go to the school after school and had recreation and stuff. That's not possible in today's time. That's why the recreational center is very necessary for our community.
And Mayor, I'd like to add one little item. We also were looking for a heating and cooling center
Right.
for our seniors. Right now, we scramble when we have days like this. When their air conditioners go out, this is a place that they can come to.
And before, at least for myself, before I'm prepared to vote on this, I want to hear about these other funds because I haven't heard anything. I mean, I
Well,
have the
there's only a- wait,
1.5.
There's only a limited amount of information we're gonna be able to give you for the funds. I would hate to say, I've seen it happen before. You speak out about something that's coming and then it disappears. Right now, I am working with different entities to give a little bit, and a little bit, till when I have the extra $5 million that I need to finish this community center. I will talk to you privately and tell you those sources, but I'm not about to publicly tell you where those sources are coming from right now.
Right, but I do know that in the past, when we had talked about this, building, that, that we were told that, the plans, blah, 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 belong to us, and this sort of thing. I guess I'm concerned that if I don't have the money in place, I don't want to do this. I want to put it on hold until the money comes through. That's my thought about this. And, it's very nice, and I'm sure that it'll be, a functional place. And I know that the money that we received from the state is earmarked for a community center. It's not like we can use it for other things.
Right.
I presume that any other money we might get would be similarly earmarked. But until that money comes through, I personally feel like we should not do anything. I don't want us to be stuck in a position where we have the state money of 1.5 that they told us they'd give us and be on the hook for
We
an
have
$8 million.
3.6 right now.
Well, 3.6 then. That's still, $5 million short.
That's what I'm saying.
I understand, but until that money comes through, I feel as if we need to put this on hold, because I just know from other projects that have been done that you get started on a project and then pretty soon, you're dealing with increased costs of labor, increased costs of equipment, and so $8 million project turns into a $10 million project. And I just really, really feel like I have to have the guarantee personally, and I don't know how other council members feel about it, but I feel like I need to have the guarantee that we have the money coming to us, that, because right now, I can't rely on Washington. I can't rely on the money being around. And with the cost of stuff going up all the time and threats of stuff going up, I guess I just feel really, really hesitant to go ahead with these beautiful plans.
Okay. Well, I accept your opinion.
My concern is that this money coming from the state is, we've only got it available for a limited amount of time.
That's right.
And that's why I'm a fan of doing part of it now, using the funds that we have, and then when we have the additional funds, should they become available, then we add on the other half. Because if we lose those original funds, the state funds being the bulk, and then, county funds, whatever added on, if we lose that, then the project's all done forever, basically, or for decades to come. So my thought is, let's pick out how much of this we can afford. Actually, building materials are coming down right now, I know, because I buy a lot of them. But the cost of wood's come down immensely, I know that much. But at least stuff that I have to buy. But I do think we should get part of it started, get a smaller version of this done, maybe not the whole long thing, but maybe a portion of it. And then in time, when we have additional funds coming in, add on the rest of it.
Okay. Mr. Tucson, you have something?
No, I didn't, not yet.
Okay. Ms. Williams?
Oh, okay, go ahead. Yeah, I just had a couple of questions, even though we never really opened this up for discussion, because we didn't
Go
do
ahead.
that part.
We didn't read the resolution.
We never read the resolution and opened up for discussions. We should have.
It's
but-
discussion, so we still can
Yeah.
do that. We are, the presentation, and then it's the resolution, so, do we need to stop and do a support and then whatever?
It would be appropriate, I would think. I mean, it initially just started with a couple of questions
Yeah, I
of the
know.
architects, and then it turned into a bigger discussion. So
Yeah.
probably be advisable.
Okay, so,
Put it on the table.
before we go any further, I need a resolution and support, and then we'll go to discussion. Who wants to make the resolution?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I would offer a resolution to amend and approve the agreement between the City of Harper Woods and Hannah Architects for the proposed Harper Woods Community Center, and further to authorize the acting city manager to sign the agreement on behalf of the city. I'd like to do this so we can at least talk about it.
Support.
Okay, now we go back to discussion.
Thank you. Okay, yeah, I was looking at the numbers, because I know you, on the one that you showed us on the screen, you had a comparison with the other cities, which was not in our packet, that particular part, so I can't really see it from here. So all I really have is just the one that you got from the general contractor, the estimate, the 8.2 million, and a couple of questions on that. One, was it more than one contractor that you asked, or was it just that?
It was just one, and he was just doing a pre-construction services. So he was going out to other contractors, subcontractors to get these numbers for, you know, plumbing, structural, concrete. So he would get, you know, maybe one or two, and it's just an estimate to be able to get a cost.
Because you gotta remember, we're at the schematic design phase, so we're not completely done with the construction documents that you would put out to 5 or 6 contractors.
Yeah.
He was just brought on to give us a level
A
of
rough
where-
estimate or-
Yeah, an
Yeah.
estimate. He's not part of our team, he's just separate, giving us an estimate.
Okay. And so that, if this is approved, then it'll go to the, looking for a general contractor stage, which is on the city, right? And then it comes back to you guys to coordinate it or
Yeah.
something?
Yep, that's part of our services that are part of this contract, which is construction administration. So we would oversee the project, give reports, oversee submittals, answer questions. So that would be part of our general services that are part of this contract.
But that would be after you select a general contractor.
But we even,
Multiple people bid it.
but even during that process of selecting a general contractor, we would also be a part of that to help facilitate any questions and answers.
Because I've noticed, of course, over the time that we started, the idea that our costs keep getting up a little more, a little bit more, a little bit more. And
I'd like to clarify one thing. When we first started, you had a lovely estimate of $250 a square foot. That just was not going to fly in this economy and how much you can see from comparisons. So the 250 that you started with was not something that you were going to be able to do.
Yeah, Jerry? Well,
Regina's not done.
Almost done. So, you know, the numbers, of course, is always a concern. Because it's an $8.2 million project. And, I mean, hopefully, we do get the money, I hope. But we are at, you know, definitely in our pockets, not that amount. So it's a concern, you know, whether going forward, whether we're going to start the project and maybe not be able to finish it. And that's a lot of money. So I guess I'm done.
Okay. All right, let's scale back and go with the timeline. If I remember this right, there was an idea to have a community center. It was put out on Engage. Let's engage the community, ask what they want. AEW drew up plans. We had a town hall over at Salter Park, served hot dogs. We gathered. Community gave ideas of what they wanted. So we saw a drawing, and that, now you're saying it was $250 a square foot, so they were a little off on there. But the scale of the building was a lot smaller. It was a gym, some offices, and a couple meeting rooms. So fast forward to, I believe, February of this year, we hired Hannah Architects to, let's do this project. Here's how much money we have. And you say you have a project team. I'm not sure who was on the project team. I know maybe the mayor was on it, probably city manager, maybe a few other people that are Parks and Rec director. But I know that none of our commissioners or any of council members were on there. So we never saw this until now. So now we're seeing these plans. At some point, did you draw plans that were at a cost that we had already secured, or did we just go to
You had a building at that point at 10,000 square feet.
Okay.
This building is only 13,000 square feet. So we have not
Gone
That much
huge,
bigger.
much larger. And you also had a gymnasium that was not sized for the full high school court. So we've adjusted those things and got in the capacity for pickleball and volleyball in the same space.
Yeah, I mean, the gym we saw was drawn with 3 pickleball courts, and there's a couple of us that play a lot of pickleball, so, and it's a pretty large gym that we play in, so we assumed it was a high school sized gym, that's what it looked like.
Right, so
I'm
it
not
went
an
from
architect.
10,000 square feet to 13.
Yeah.
Okay, went from 10,000 to 13. Was there drawings like what the council members are asking? Are there drawings that if we don't get this money, that we can scale this project down?
Even if you did 10,000 square feet, it's still gonna be $600 a square foot, based
Right.
upon current costs. Now, we
Yes.
can squeeze that, but, you know,
Right,
that's
but
based upon.
but 10,000 times 600 is less
It's
than
6 million.
10,000
Right.
by 13,000.
Correct.
So, I mean,
Correct.
And we have talked about that. We talked about phasing the project out and how we would do that. So there are some ideas. There are a portion of the building. The best way to save cost and phase it out is to not do portions of the building. So we've talked about different strategies of how that would be to go about doing that. The best way to really handle that is once we get a GC on board, then we can really figure it out. It's the best way to do that with their input, and then we can kind of move forward. But just understand that what we're talking about today for our contract, that doesn't mean that the $8 million has to be spent. That just means our contract to do the service, to give you some construction documents, has been fulfilled.
And do know that that $1 million below the line, those are all costs that's gonna be negotiable. We don't have to have a 10% contingency.
Yeah, he's
That's
got,
almost
they have a 10%
$600,000.
contingency on a new construction. You would probably see that around 7 or 8. On renovations, you would see that around 10%. But he's being conservative. He wants to make sure that he's not going to give you a number that's under what you guys can afford, right? So he's just being very conservative on the high end.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Real quick, I do know that when Coastal Park was putting together the new DPW building, we were pretty much on the same board with you guys, not with you guys, of course, as an architect. We used the architect as what we're gonna do here today, and it worked out very well because we got to go into the project at the time, once you bring the GC in, we got to pick different things at the time that were maybe looked just as nice, but didn't cost quite as much.
Yeah.
So we could do that once we had you guys on board to do what you've got to do.
Yeah.
And that's a process that, yeah, you sit down, we had meetings once a week, and
Yeah.
this is the newest thing that came out. Let's try this, or don't try that. Nope, that's too much now. Price went up on that, but the price went down on this.
Yeah, we're very
So-
open to that. We do that all the time on our
Yeah, so I
projects,
think-
as you can understand.
I think when we saw this package, some of us were asking questions of what is this for? It'll work the way, it works the way the DPW building went. It went very well, because our team was hands-on. I think this team will be hands-on too with it. So, that's all I have to say.
Can I ask- so what we're not voting on, there's a little confusion here. We're not agreeing to an $8.2 million building. We're agreeing to hire Hannah. We've already hired Hannah Architects. They've already done all of this work. And now we're hiring them to do the scope of the work. And that's what point we're at right now. We are
Right.
not agreeing to anything else.
That's it.
Yeah.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Quick question. I noticed on our page 108, the stipulated compensation sum. I know that the original amount that we hired Hannah Architects for was $211,600. And in the document here, we're seeing $330,104. Is that $330,000 in addition to what we've already paid, or is that because the project has gotten larger? So it's going to be $119,000 more than what we've got right now?
Because our original fee
Right,
was
from our
based on
original
the
contract.
$2.5 million, and it's not a $2.5 million project.
Right. I just wanted to clarify that it's not a new amount, it's an addition to total 330.
Correct,
So it'll be 119,000 more.
correct.
And I'd like to add something too, and it will be paid for by a grant, not from the city's general fund.
Madam Mayor, I also want to comment on just a little bit. I think you did a fantastic job of presenting this, and it looks pretty good. It looks very modular to me, that we can start a little bit here and there. And I like the idea of the gym And I think we don't need to cut back on the size of that because we're going to use that more than just athletics. It could be for some performing arts. And I think that's one reason why the beaches were included with that too, so people would have to sit down and watch things that are going on in there. And with the wintertime coming, you know, we need indoor space to do all those activities. I'm not too afraid of running out of money. I think that we're taking it with our acting city manager, who is also a finance person, and the way he's looking at things too. I have a lot of confidence on this modular way that we're going to move, that he's going to keep us within budget. The only thing I'd like to see him do is with our extra funds that we have in our fund balance is to get us a better sound system. But otherwise, let's move on.
All right.
Madam Mayor? Yes.
In the event that things go a little bit wonky, how much do we have currently in our,
3.8.
so we have 3.8 million
Right.
for the project, but how much do we have in our general fund, extra balance that,
The general funds
The
is
general
not
fund
nothing.
just
It's
stands.
not, it's not something to do.
or, well,
with
we
that.
just, I mean, we have money
No,
set aside.
it's not.
Not right now.
Not really?
See, the whole point and the reason that I work very hard at trying to get the monies for this is so that I am saddened that we are so overtaxed as a community. It is nothing that I would bring to the table that's gonna cost the citizens any more money than what we're already taxing them for. So my point is to make sure that we get monies from foundations, federal government, state government, Wayne County, everybody else that gives money to other people's. I'm standing in line with my hat out because we deserve to have a community center that we can use for our community, not have to beg and ask somebody to allow us to be into their building. This will be the City of Harper Woods building, and it'll be a building. We just had an incident where a lady was bedridden and could not get cool, had no cooling. If we had a cooling center, she would have been able to come to the cooling center, but we don't have a cooling center. So we need to make sure that we're able to accommodate all our citizens and not just a few. And the one thing, think about it, our recreational center has been housed in a trailer for almost 30 years. What kind of crap is that? They need to have a real office, and they deserve to have an office where you could come in to take care of business and not worry about the cold, the steps, or whatever. We need a real building. And no, it's not gonna cost you any money. And if that does happen, I will resign. Hear me clearly. I am not trying to put more on the citizens of the city of Harper Woods. I just feel that as a community, we need a community center that we can call our own and do not have to ask anybody else permission to use. So that is the reason why I am so hard about getting this community center. And I have used every bit of my influence all over this state, country, finding people that's gonna give me money. Little by little, yes. I can't tell you exactly where the money's coming from every day, but I am asking everybody that I know to give me $1 million. The minimum is $1 million. I need 5 million, so I need people, at least 5 people, to give me $1 million. And believe me, I am on that track. I'm not gonna give names, but I'm on that track to where I'm about to get my $5 million. And we will have a community center. If not, I'll resign.
And Madam Mayor?
Yes.
A lot of people think that this is just going to be a cost to us, but if we build it just right here, we can use that as a revenue-producing thing too.
It will be.
So
It can be.
Yeah, it can be.
But
so.
the most poignant thing is, it's for us to use. It's for us to have. We don't know how the power outages and the electric grids are gonna go. You don't know when you may not have power. Where would you go at this point in this day if there was a total power outage in this area. We have no place, except for this building. It does have a generator, so you just all come and sit in one of these chairs and stuff. But as a general rule, every community that I deal with and know with has a community center, and they do work with their people. We're just a little late coming to the party, and I'm sorry that we were late coming to the party, but we should have been there 20 years ago to demand that we had a community center. But we can't. Hindsight is 20/20. All we can do is move forward. And that is the reason that we're here right now today to say we want to hire Hannah and Architect Form, architect company. And that's where we're gonna start. Now, we're not talking about the monies, we're just talking about hiring them to complete the job that we started back in February. Thank you. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks. Thank you.
No.
It's a public, no, public meeting, just one.
Go ahead.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki. Madam Mayor, you're very convincing. Yes. Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes,
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
thank you.
Okay, item G2, resolution, alternate meeting dates for border review meetings. Mayor and council, attached is a correspondence from the city assessor requesting the city council adopt a resolution to approve alternate dates for the July and December boards of review. Currently, the July board meets on the Tuesday following the third Monday, and the December board meets on the Tuesday following the second Monday. The proposed alternate dates will allow the board to meet any day during those required weeks, if necessary, as opposed to the specificity of Tuesday. With the allowance of this flexibility, it will alleviate any possible scheduling conflicts that may arise. I have reviewed this and recommend that this resolution be adopted. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes,
I'll offer the motion to adopt the attached resolution authorizing the Board of Review to schedule an alternate meeting date during the week of the third Monday in July and during the week of the second Monday in December.
Support.
support? Who supported?
Jerry.
Jerry, okay. Any discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank, or it's a motion?
It's a motion.
It's a motion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. It's a motion. You said motion,
Okay.
pass that. Pass it. This is yours.
Okay. Item G3, appointment of city manager. Mayor and council, as I have made all of you aware, I am requesting that the vacancy of the city manager position be filled by me effective immediately. I will commence placing an advertisement within several publications, including the Michigan Municipal League and others, seeking a deputy city manager for the purpose of providing continuity at such time that I retire from this position. I am not asking for any changes in the terms of the current agreement that I have with the city, with the exception of retirement-eligible severance pay. I am requesting that a year's salary be awarded if the city chooses to terminate my employment agreement. I am also requesting that the employment agreement for the city clerk be amended with the same change. The approximate cost for myself would be $123,622 if terminated. I currently have a 5-month severance at an approximate cost of $51,509. The retirement eligible severance for the city clerk would be approximately $89,525. She currently has 3 months severance at an approximate cost of $22,381. I am requesting that this be approved, and Mayor and Council, I want to say, this cost the city nothing.
Right.
Nothing. If somebody plays mischief out there, and there's people that are going to play mischief, they're going to think about this. Continuity and having people that can work under strenuous conditions is very, very important. As you can see, a Facebook post can cause concern to override resolutions, to override business planning, to paralyze this city. That nobody can work under those conditions. I have lived in this community my whole life. I have served on this city council for 18 years. I have done this job for 5 years. We went from number 7 on the state of Michigan's Munetric score to number 1. That's where we stand today. Number 1. Look it up. I'm asking for the clerk and I, because we have to say no to people. That builds enemies. And it certainly has built a few out here, as the audience can tell. So Mayor, I am recommending a resolution.
Madam Mayor? I'll offer the resolution to appoint John Szymanski as city manager for the city of Harper Woods, and further to amend the employment agreement of the city manager and city clerk to include 12 months of retirement-eligible severance pay if the city terminates their respective agreements while the employees are able and willing to fulfill their duties, with the approximate cost of $123,622 if the city manager's agreement is terminated, and $89,525 if the city clerk's agreement is terminated.
Who's supporting?
Support.
Any further discussion?
Madam Mayor, I did look up various cities in our state to find out what their agreements are. And I know for a fact that the city of Birmingham, their city manager has a 2-year severance pay that would cost the city $300,000. I don't want John to get any ideas. $300,000 should they terminate him. I know that I have asked John personally to stay on as city manager because of the excellent job that he's done. And so it's not a secret. A few months ago, we were discussing whether we should go ahead. One of the things I said at that time was we should hire John. And at that time, he was making, talk about retiring. But since then, he has decided he wants to stay on, and I could not be more thrilled. I know that when I looked up city clerks across Michigan, and city managers for that matter, a number of them are given 6 months immediately as a severance, and then 1 month for every additional year that they've worked. So Leslie has worked as a city clerk here for at least 13 years. That would automatically qualify her in that position to get a year's severance. John has worked here an additional, by his own statement, 5 years. And so that would put him very near to the amount that most city managers are receiving. So personally, I don't find this to be unusual. I wish that we had done it months ago, but I am very happy at the idea that now we can have some stability and we won't have to have people always asking, when are we going to get a city manager? He has worked in that position very well for our community. That's
Any
my
further
thought.
discussion?
Yeah, Madam Mayor. I've worked for multiple, before I retired, multiple corporations. And usually they gave you, most of them gave me a year for every month, gave me a month's severance for every year I worked. So it's not uncommon to have this kind of going on, and it's not even a guarantee, and that we're gonna spend that money. But what's also important is that if we brought in a city manager, it's gonna be a time where John is gonna have to take time to go ahead and train that person, or although everybody's gonna have to train the person. So all we're doing here is getting a deputy mayor here, deputy acting city manager,
Okay.
deputy city manager.
And they get a salary? You joke.
A deputy city manager here for the transition for when John retires. And we're not expecting him that to be a 3 or 4 year period of time. So I think it's the best way to try to transition from the old to the new, and we do need, and I agree, we do need some new people in, some new energy in here, some new ideas. So I think this is a pretty good plan, and we are moving forward and getting a new city manager, and this is the way we're going to do it anyway.
Okay. Jerry?
I want to point out that there's a bunch of department heads sitting in this audience. They've all been here for a very long time. They must like their boss. And if anybody works and knows what is going on in the corporate world, people are coming and going, coming and going, coming and going. We have stability in this city by these people that are loyal to their boss. They must be being treated fairly well to stay on this long. And they all seem to be smiling back there. Also, I was at a school board meeting and happened to be sitting next to John when they were discussing raising the pay band for their CFO because they can't find one. And they were raising the band to $180,000. I thought John might say, pick me, but he's dedicated to the city of Harper Woods. He lives here, he loves the city, and that's important. I wish all of our employees lived here. Sorry, guys, but some of you do. But that, it's not the law, but that he loves the city and he wants what's best for it. And it says right in here that we're gonna immediately put out on MML, SEMCOG, other places to hire a deputy that can work under him, and we hire and fire 3 people, John, Sharon, and Leslie. So we don't like this deputy, we don't wanna hire one, then it's not gonna work out. So we're gonna make sure we get the next best person to take over this city, and it may be sooner, maybe later, but for right now, I think that the people that work under him are giving me the confidence to keep John on.
Okay, Madam Mayor, while I was looking at this, John has been our acting city manager for 5 years. He's already doing the job, been doing the job for the last 5 years. So it's not like he's changing anything but the title. In fact, I was surprised John didn't ask for a raise in pay to go with the title, which is what I would have done, ask for a little extra income. In fact, all John is actually asking for is that if the city council decided to fire him, then he would get severance pay. But if he's doing his job, doing what he's expected to do, the severance pay isn't even, it costs the city nothing, only if we decide for some reason to fire them. I think, I understand why it was originally 5 months, because we had issues previously in the past with, with other city managers and a large.
No, that had nothing to do with it. That was his agreement from his employment as financial director. We've never had a contract with him as acting city manager.
Okay.
It was just kind of like appointed and we voted, yeah. I mean, that's the way that happened. So his contract has never changed from when he was hired as
Right,
a
because
financial
John didn't want it
director.
to change.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
So,
Just want to make sure we have our facts straight. Okay.
So asking for 1 year severance pay really isn't really that much. I would have been more comfortable with 8 months. I said fine, wouldn't have had any reservations at all. And would have raised Leslie's up to 6 months, and I would have been fine with that. But being acting city manager, he already is our city manager pretty much. The only thing that's going to change is his title. He's doing the job, has been for 5 years. And we have looked for other city managers in the past. We just couldn't find a qualified city manager. It just didn't work out. And that's it.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Really quick. I've worked for multiple city managers, and to have the department heads come out like they do in support of him, that makes it very much easier to run a city. It starts at the top. You know, we're just here once a month or twice a month. It starts at the top with John. Every department head goes to him. That's the way it's supposed to work. And to have confidence in him the way they do, I think it's fantastic. And I've been through ones which were horrible. And it just brings morale down and everything. I don't think we have that here. I know we don't have that here, talking to department heads. So I feel very comfortable with what we're going forward with.
All right. Yes.
The main thing I find irregular here is that it's all lumped into one thing. Like, I kind of feel like the clerk's severance should be a separate thing, or maybe separate the hiring from the severance or something. I went and put it all into one resolution. I don't really have a problem with this severance, because I don't think there's not in the near future anybody's gonna try to get rid of either of them, unless they come up with some shenanigans in an attempt to get severance pay. Are you guys gonna be up to that?
No.
We're looking at hiring an assistant city manager, so I would like to know how long our acting city manager is planning to stay on. Is there a difference between if you remain acting? I'm wondering why now. You already told us you were gonna retire, but what's our time range we're looking at here?
I'm looking seriously at all the projects we have.
Right.
And taking care of all the projects. I'm also looking at succession planning. We have lots of that going on. There's lots of employees that are eligible for retirement. It just doesn't start with me.
Right.
So this is gonna be a cascading cycle. We have a bubble in our command officers' police department where we have done things to keep the institutional memory, I want to say an experience in the department, but we're going to have to make some changes in the next couple of years. And those are the things I'm going to be working with. I'm going to be sitting down with a deputy city manager and get that person in place, up to speed with all the projects, with everything that's going on in the city. And there's quite a bit. And especially now. So the emphasis is going to be on succession planning, and we're looking to have a seamless transition. That's what we're looking at. You know, like I said before, there's some that are just plotting mischief. We know what it is, we know who we are. And at the same time, it's not gonna happen on my watch. I'll put it that way.
All right. John and I work very well together. We call ourselves the ride or die.
Ride and die.
Ride and die. We got thrust into this position in 2020. Not anything I was looking forward to become mayor. Thank you, Vivian.
I don't never believe that she would be there.
But we've taken on the challenge and we've made it work in between what John does here on the day-to-day and what I do visiting and talking to people all over this state and the country, in essence, to make sure that Harper Woods is not just where Eastland is. You'd be surprised at how many people did not realize that Eastland was in Harper Woods. Harper Woods was not in Eastland. It's been mind-blowing in a lot of sense. But right now, we have the attention of people, and that's one of the reasons why I feel confident that with John's help, we'll make sure that we'll be able to finagle that $5 million that we needed. And when I talk about numbers, I always hand it to John because he can figure out, as my sister used to say, she could squeeze a dollar and make it hollow. John can make a dollar hollow, and I like having him on, working with him. We are a team, and I could not think of anything. I was very, very, very upset when he's talking about retiring, but I'm glad that that passed over, and now we'll be able to work together for succession. For not only, we need to look for succession not only in our department heads and employees, but we also need to look in succession for our elected officials. Some of us will be retiring in the near future. So we need to have young people to become more involved and understand the workings of a city. It is not about what you want, it's about what is best for the whole. It's not about a personal gain, because I have no personal gain in any of this. What I see is that a vision is that you vision for everybody. And there is no way that a viable city should not have a place for recreation, for people to play bridge, whist, spades, pinochle, whatever. There should be a place where everybody can come and congregate and enjoy themselves. That's why I am stuck on stupid when it comes to this community center. Yes, I am stuck on stupid, but I want to make it happen. And John has been my partner, and I can't think of a better partner because we work very well together. I don't think we've ever fallen out, have we?
No, came close.
Yeah, I get excited.
When the mayor's not happy, nobody's happy.
It's not often. I'm a really even-keeled person. That's my years of experience. I didn't just start off when I moved here. I've been involved in politics for a long time. Back. Gary Peters and Senator Stabenow were my friends back when I was in the part of the union. I helped get them elected. A lot of the judges around here, I helped get them elected back in the day. So now I'm calling in my bets. That's why I can't tell you where I'm getting my money from, because I'm calling in my bets from those people that I've known through the years. You owe me this.
Let's vote.
Yeah.
Let's vote. Let's do it.
Let's vote.
Okay, roll call.
Okay, Councilwoman LaPratt.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
All right, thank you much.
Thank you. Item G4, contract extension, critical sanitary sewer rehabilitation by FCIPP number 180-379. Mayor and Council, attached is correspondence from our city engineers regarding our sanitary sewer rehabilitation by FCIPP program. We have been reviewing an offer from Instaform Technology USA LLC, who did last year's project, to honor their existing prices for an extension for 2025 to provide service for critical sanitary sewers throughout the city. By extending this contract, we save the cost of preparing new bid specifications, advertising, and other startup costs. Further, based on other recent bids, we do not feel that bidding will result in lower prices. This work is spread throughout the city, and contractors usually bid higher because of this, and it would not be cost-effective to rebid it. I have discussed this at length with our engineers and agree with their recommendation. We recommend that the modification be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
By resolution, approve the contract modification in an amount not to exceed $111,575.10 with Instituform Technologies USA LLC for the 2025 Critical Sanitary Sewer Rehabilitation by FCIPP number 180-379.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
I'll skip Ms. Costantino. Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki's stepped away, so we'll just call her absent.
Okay.
Resolution passes.
All right.
Okay,
Oh, do
Whoop.
you want to wait?
What's that? There she
there she
comes.
is. Yeah.
We're sure you read your packet,
Yes.
so we did just take the roll call.
Okay.
I'm going to call you
Oh, yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Okay.
I did read it.
Now it officially is passed.
Thank you.
Okay, item G5, award of bid sewer rehabilitation by FCIPP number 180-364. Mayor and Council, we recently applied for funding assistance for infrastructure projects throughout the state of Michigan, financially distressed cities. Village and Township Program, FD CVT, and was successful in obtaining up to $134,700 in grant funding to complete the sewer lining program with no local match. We subsequently sought and accepted bids for the sewer rehabilitation project with 4 bids received. I have attached the city engineer's bid tabulation and their recommendation. I concur with their recommendation that the bid be awarded to DVM Utilities, Inc. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I make the resolution, accept the lowest responsible bid submitted by DVM Utilities, Inc. of Sterling Heights in the amount of $101,596 for the 2025 sewer rehabilitation by FCIPP lining, project number 180-364, with the proceeds from the State of Michigan Financially Distressed Cities, Villages, and Townships Grant, FDCVT, and further that no local match is required.
Support.
Okay, any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G6, progress payment number 2 and 3, concrete pavement repair project number 180-363. Mayor and Council attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 2 and 3 on the concrete pavement repair project number 180-363. It is recommended that these payments be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
by resolution to approve payment to L. Anthony Construction, Inc. in the amount of $161,434.53 for progress payment number 2 and $13,051.90 for a total of $174,486.43 on the concrete pavement repair project number 180-363.
Support.
Can you just pause the meeting? You can take my phone down? Oh, yeah. Did you?
I got it.
Okay.
Okay. Who's supporting?
Myself.
You did? Okay. Any discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
Okay. Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Resolution passes. Take an intermission? Take an intermission?
Okay,
Take an intermission.
intermission?
Intermission. 5 minutes, guys.
5 minutes.
We're back from our break.
Number 7? Are we
Yeah,
at
he's
number
ready.
7?
Okay,
Number 7.
item G7, progress payment number 1, 2025 sanitary sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation number 180-365. Mayor and Council attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 1 on the sanitary sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation project number 180-365. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the resolution to approve payment to Duke's Root Control in the amount of $63,253.86 for progress payment number 1 on the 2025 sanitary sewer cleaning and CCTV investigation project number 180-365.
Support.
Okay.
Give it to Vivian.
All right, any discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G8, progress payment number 4, DWSRF Lead Water Service Replacement Program number 180-331. Mayor and Council, attaches a letter from our city engineers transmitting progress payment number 4 on the DWSRF Lead Water Service Replacement Program number 180-331. It is recommended that this payment be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
By resolution, approve payment to Super Construction LLC in the amount of $112,040.19 for progress payment number 4 on the 2024 DWSRF Lead Water Service Replacement Program number 180-331.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor, I have a quick question. This has to do with lead in our water system. I know that we've got this replacement program in place, and we have a number of residents who have been requested to provide water samples, but they haven't, and that makes it difficult for us to get our state, whatever stuff in order.
Right.
I'm wondering, does that have any impact on our water replacement program, the money we get from the state for that?
Heather?
Ryan, why don't you guys come up here?
Whichever.
Yeah.
The water testing requirements are from the EPA. The lead service line replacements are mandated by the state. So it's two separate, they don't mingle.
Okay, all right,
So we
so,
won't lose our money for the replacements because residents are not testing.
all right. So that money is kind of guaranteed to us? Okay, thank you.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Just a quick question of, because I know we do a little bit every year. So what year will all pipes be finished, being replaced?
That's kind of ongoing all the time. I want to say this phase bit right here is about a little bit over a quarter. So we still got quite a bit to go.
Mayor,
Yeah.
this is a great time to remind everyone sitting in the audience and at home, if you get a red card that says, please call DPW about water testing, because I do get one every 6 months, and, because I have a lead service line. But that if you're getting one of these, please, 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 it's really simple. They give you the kit, it's not difficult to do, that it's really helpful if everybody that gets one of those cards calls DPW and test your water. And it's really, really important. So if you're at home, you're in the audience, tell your neighbors, you get that red card, call DPW, do the test. Super simple.
All right, thank you much. Is there any further discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G9, approval of purchase, John Deere loader. Mayor and council, attached is a request from DPW superintendent to purchase a new loader. As her memo states, the current 1998 loader is in need of additional repairs totaling approximately $16,000, and over the last 5 to 7 years, we have spent approximately $54,000 in repairs to this loader. There will likely be even more repairs as this loader continues to age. We solicited bids and 2 were received to replace this piece of equipment. By selecting the lower of the 2 bids, we will realize $10,000 in savings and an extended warranty will be included. Payment arrangements have been made for 6 annual installments. I have reviewed this and concur with the recommendation to purchase the John Deere loader from AIS Construction, and I do want to say that this will be paid from the Capital Improvement Fund, not the general fund. The council approved these funds back in November. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'd like to make the resolution to approve the purchase of a John Deere 544 loader from AIS Construction Equipment in the amount of $228,453, payable in 6 annual installments of $39,882.
Support.
Discussion.
Madam Mayor,
Mm-hmm.
it occurs to me that our current loader is older than my daughter, Kat. And
Good point.
I'm just putting it out there for real. Yeah. We got like a 27-year-old loader here, and I think having
It's
a new
about
one would
time.
be great. Yeah, I mean, that loader's been through a lot, it does a lot, and I think having a new one is gonna be necessary, actually.
Any further discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
Yeah, I was just wondering, how long is the extended warranty for? How many years? we can use?
Heather.
It's by hours, it's 4,000 additional hours. That's how they monitor vehicle use, is by engine hours, not miles.
Any further discussion? Roll call vote, Ms. Frank.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Oh, definitely.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
Okay, item G10, interlocal agreement, Suburban Mobility Authority for Regional Transportation, SMART. Mayor and council, this agreement sets forth the conditions for the transfer of funding provided to SMART by Michigan Public Act 51 of 1951 and community credits. The City of Harper Woods has partnered with Point Area Assisted Transportation Services, PATS, to provide public transportation services in the city. Furthermore, the City of Harper Woods agrees to provide the flow-through funding received from SMART to PATS. The city has selected option 1A, which provides 100% of the community credits available to the community pursuant to SMART's Community Credit Program. It is recommended that this agreement be approved. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I'll offer the resolution to approve the interlocal agreement between the City of Harper Woods and SMART, and further to provide 100% of the community credits available to the community pursuant to SMART's Community Credit Program.
Support.
Discussion. Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Councilman Tucson.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G11, resolution, Wayne County long-term maintenance of stormwater management system, 17700 Vernier Gas Station. Mayor and council, at your March 17th, 2025 meeting, you approved the Wayne County maintenance permit for long-term maintenance of stormwater management system for the new gas station at 17700 Vernier Road. As you may recall, the permit is needed for the City of Harper Woods to monitor, maintain, and remediate any causes for concern in the areas of sediment accumulation, vegetation, debris access, and structural repairs as necessary for this new gas station. Following your approval, we provided them with a certified resolution. However, the resolution did not incorporate all of the information that was required. The county has since reached out and requested that the attached resolution be approved. It is recommended that the attached resolution be approved and submitted to Wayne County for their records. Mayor, a resolution is recommended.
Madam Mayor,
Yes.
I'll make the resolution. By resolution to adopt the attached resolution for the long-term maintenance of stormwater management system for new gas station at 17700 Vernier Road, and further to direct the city clerk to forward the resolution to the Wayne County Department of Public Services.
Support.
Any discussion? Roll call vote, Mrs. Frank.
Councilwoman Sawicki?
Yes.
Councilman Toussaint?
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams?
Yes.
Mayor Kindle?
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino?
Yes.
Councilman Jenny?
Yes.
And Councilwoman LaPrat?
Yes.
Resolution passes.
Okay, item G12, Detroit Area Agency on Aging, Annual Implementation Plan. Mayor and Council, annually, the Detroit Area Agency on Aging, DAAA, that services the city of Harper Woods, requests review and approval of their implementation plan. This plan outlines their services that will be provided to the participating communities serviced by DAAA. I have reviewed the plan and compared it with past year's plans and believe it adequately considers the needs of seniors in our area. In the approval process, we can make requests for revision or disapprove the plan. The plan itself is quite lengthy. If you are interested in a copy, please let me know. It is my recommendation that this plan be received and approved as presented. Mayor, a motion is recommended.
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
By motion to acknowledge receipt and approve the Detroit Area Agency on Aging, DAAA, annual implementation plan for fiscal year 2025.
Support.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Okay, item G13, Michigan Municipal League Convention. Mayor and Council, the Michigan Municipal League has announced their annual convention to be held on Mackinac Island, September.
I'm sorry.
Oh, okay,
That's me.
okay, wait a minute, wait.
It's
Grand Rapids.
Grand Rapids, oh, yes, okay,
Thank
sorry
goodness. I
about
was
that. Okay, let me see if I, yes, sorry about that.
My fault.
To be held
Sorry.
in Grand Rapids Convention Center,
Cut and paste.
okay, September 17th through 19th, 2025. And it is customary for the city council to authorize attendance by the interested members. Also, it is customary to designate one of our officials as a representative to cast votes on the city's behalf for trustees, policies, and other business matters, and that the mayor be the designee and the mayor pro tem be the alternate. If there are any of you who wish to attend, please let the clerk's office know as soon as possible so that we can register you. Mayor, a resolution is recommended, and I'm seeing if there's any errors in the resolution here. It looks pretty good.
Madam Mayor,
Yeah.
I'll offer this resolution to authorize those council members interested to attend the Michigan Municipal League's annual convention September 17th to 19th, with the city paying necessary and related expenses, and further to designate Mayor Kindle as the city's official delegate and Mayor Pro Tem Williams as the alternate delegate during the MML annual meeting to be held during the convention.
Support.
Any discussion?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
I was prepared to vote no on anyone other than you going to Mackinac Island. So I have to say that I did not catch the error. And I am very glad to hear that that is not the case, because
Yeah, Grand
Mackinac
Rapids
is
is expensive
ridiculous.
enough. Mackinac is ridiculous. All right, any further discussion? Roll call vote. Did you have some? Oh, okay. Roll call vote, Mrs. Franks.
Councilman Toussaint.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Williams.
Yes.
Mayor Kindle.
Yes.
Councilwoman Costantino.
Yes.
Councilman Jenny.
Yes.
Councilwoman LaPrat.
Yes.
Councilwoman Sawicki.
Yes.
Okay, resolution passes.
And that concludes the city manager's reports.
All right, call the audience. You have 3 minutes to speak and give your comments. Not necessarily get an answer, but
And speak loud.
you can hold the mic up. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Eileen Ross. I live on Lennon, right across from Papard Elementary. So the first thing I want to bring up is Papard. I don't know if any of you have driven by there in the last 2 months, but it's deplorable. Robertson Brothers put fencing around it, which 3 parts fell down. They blocked off the cul-de-sac by our house, which is fine. It should be blocked off. It's a construction area. That fell completely down. It fell down on Lennon going into the playground, and it fell down on Van Antwerp. I took pictures. I have the email. I contacted Tim from Robertson Brothers. He said, thank you. We'll send out our fencing people. A month went by. I was awakened at 5 in the morning by the sound of a loud noise. Didn't realize it was 5 in the morning, and I was hopeful that they were either fixing the fence or taking the school down. Ran to my bedroom window when I realized it was dark out, and there was a U-Haul that ran over the fence and was stealing an air conditioner from the building. By the time I saw that, it was too late to call the police because they were pulling away. And I will say, I have called the police several times. They always come immediately. I have nothing but rave reviews about our police department. So that was the first of 2 air conditioners. I again got a hold of Robertson Brothers. He said, wouldn't be the first time. No concern. Also, fence still not up. I let him know, daily basis, young people going in there, in and out, doing whatever. It's not safe. More and more windows are being broken. All the windows to the doors across from my house are now out. It's pitch black since there are no lights, so nobody can see anything. So then another car came, parked in the circle, let their dogs do their business, threw their trash on top of the dumpster that has just been removed last week. I don't know what was in it. And they came back later. The police did come out, and then later that night we had another issue, and then 3 police officers, 3 different cars came, and they were all very surprised to learn that all the equipment in the parking lot belongs to the people doing the sidewalk repairs in Harper Woods. They thought that that was Robertson Brothers construction equipment. It has been at least 6 weeks since there has been one person from that company doing anything at that school. When they finished the asbestos abatement, which took longer than expected, which is fine, nobody's been back. It's just sitting there, a disaster. They're also not cutting the grass. We have to cut our grass. Everybody has to cut their grass. Thankfully so, right? We pay a lot of taxes to live in what I've always thought is a beautiful city. My little dog that we walk by there twice a day, the grass is taller than him. It's disgusting. And I don't know why I don't understand why they're getting away with letting it look like this. And I have to look at it every day. It's absolutely disgusting.
It is disgusting.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That's it. Time's up.
When you get through, see Heather.
Oh, they've been called about the grass multiple times.
Eileen, the mayor and I will talk with Tim tomorrow.
Yeah.
Great, okay,
We
because
will.
it was cut
Yeah.
once in May and it was cut once in June.
Yep.
That was it. Thank you very much. Okay, getting to the sidewalks, I'm a little curious.
Unfortunately, Eileen, your time is up.
Oh.
Sorry. Okay, I'll see you after the meeting.
Thank you, it's real quick.
Hi, my name is Margaret Nelson. I live on Fleetwood. To expand on what Eileen said about Popart, Friday, when I drove by, lo and behold, the fence was up. They put it up across the parking lot and everywhere. And then later on that day, or Saturday, all of a sudden, the fence to the parking lot is open, and I'm assuming it was Santos Construction because they had a pickup truck still in there. Now the pickup truck is gone. So if that was them, it would have been nice that they closed up the fence again. They did not. And now today, when I'm walking my dog, there's like 5 trucks all in there again. I don't know if it's Robertson or if it's Santos. And they're using that as their staging area. In the Grosse Pointe News, there was an article that said, oh, look at Robertson is starting to do something with Popard. And they were taking pictures of, this is gonna be their staging area. And it was all pictures of the Santos trucks. So that's totally misleading. So now I'll just jump to something else. Like I said, I live on the corner of Fleetwood and Dupre. All I know is 2 of my neighbors within this past month had their air conditioners stolen. I know it's been a huge problem in Harper Woods. Well, just this past week, across the street, 3 houses. Whoever these people are, they're pretty slick. They're jamming the Wi-Fi on the Ring cameras and So the one person across the street had their catalytic converter stolen from their car, and the 2 on my side had their cars broken into. The one guy had the equipment and money stolen from his car, and the other person, his wife's car, they went in there. So I don't know if anything can be done. I don't think it's just Fleetwood, but that's the street I live on, and so that's all that I know about. So I don't know if anything can be done. You just can't have the police all over the place. So that's just my comment. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Kelvin Thomas. I stay at 20228 Damon. Got a couple of things. Number one is the resident at, or the house at 19726 Damon. It's the burnt down home on Damon Street. You guys familiar with that? It's pretty much totally destroyed, and it's been there for maybe, about 2 years? Going on 2 years, and just kind of wondered what's the status, what's going to be done, because it's definitely an eyesore. And you walk past that house every day, and it's just sitting there, and nothing's being done. Are they going to tear it down and make it? What are they going to do with it? And it's just been sitting there, and we have no, information of what's going on with it, and it's just bad for the neighborhood. Number 2 is normally we have 2 trucks pick up. One truck picks up the yard waste, and the other truck picks up the garbage. This past week, I think it's been the past couple of weeks, we had one truck picking up both the garbage and the yard waste, and they're mixing it. And when they mix it, it causes liquid. And when they cause that liquid, it just stinks up the whole street. It's just literally liquid all up and down the street. And I've been here for years, and they've always had 2 trucks. Is that something that they're like doing now, and just seems like don't make a whole lot of sense to have a truck doing the yard waste and the garbage also.
Yeah, they need to know
So
about
that's
that.
something that we, and it stinks up the whole street, and it's just like days, and it's ridiculous. We've never had that before. And the last thing is I hate to complain about a positive. They've replaced the sidewalks in front of our house and several houses, and we just thought that we should be notified when they did it, because when they did it, they ended up damaging my sprinkler system. And I have repaired it since then, but it seemed like we should have been kind of notified that they're going to be doing that, so we can either mark it or kind of. I don't think my sidewalk needed to be done, but they did it anyway. They said it was a trip hazard, but I didn't really see it. But anyway, just to be notified is the main thing, and I could have maybe marked it and told them that I had a sprinkler system there, and they said they were going to fix it, but they said it's going to be like 2 weeks after they poured, and I ended up getting it fixed because I didn't want to wait and damage the grass also. So it's just that, like I say, we should be kind of notified. I thought that they were going to be doing that. And
Could you see Heather after the meeting?
I've talked to her about it. I'm just saying that
So
she knows about it, but like I said, I'm not really complaining so much about them, just that we should be notified, because like I say, it is an improvement, but you hate to complain about a positive, but just it seemed like a small thing that should be done.
Thank you.
Could maybe alleviate some problems. Yep.
Good afternoon, everyone, or evening. Hey, my name is Mr. Jackson, Troy Jackson. I'm a resident at 19146 Huntington Avenue here in Harper Woods. And one of my main concerns that I have, and have been for so long, is that we have a burnt down house, as the gentleman spoke on our block as well. And this house, it actually poses a threat to the community as well as the neighborhoods, due to the fact that you have a high school there, which is Harper Woods High School and the academy, and you have children walking by this abandoned, heavily blinded house. And once you get down there near Kelly, it's totally dark, you know, at this house. And my thing is, I'm an engineer for the city of Detroit as far as an inspector for the city, and that, you know, I've had houses like that. The city has had those houses immediately within 50 feet of a school, because you have young children at these schools constantly walking past, and it's considered a dangerous building. And I would like to know, what does the city take on this building or this house? Now, it's been sitting here vacant, burnt for years now, and nothing is being done. You're not going to see this in Grosse Pointe, but you're going to see it in Harper Woods. You see it all the time in Detroit, but it's like everybody is overlooking a dangerous building. And it affects the property value, it affects the neighborhood. And I was sitting here, reading your paper here, as far as the general guide to public comment, and at the end it says, breach or disturbing the peace may include the following: conduct that threatens public safety. This is just speaking in general about what's to disrupt the meeting. But here we're talking about lives that can be at stake. It says, conduct that threatens public safety, threatens violence to other persons, disrupts the peace and quiet of other persons present, interferes with the ability of persons to perform lawful actions. So I think that if we can have this here as far as disrupting a meeting, this here entails everything what's going on with these houses that we're dealing with. Children, neighbors, property. And we're talking about building a community center. We're trying to get people to come to the city, so to beautify the city. But when we having problems such as this, you know what I'm saying, we can't get a house torn down because of a cost, but yet we finna spend $8 million for a community center when we can't spend $20,000 to get these houses torn down, these dilapidated properties removed to improve the safety of the neighborhood.
Thank you. We
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Well, first, I just want to make one comment on the community center, because you want these basketball courts, but I don't think you realize we have more seniors in this city than kids. To me, instead of that, we should have a swimming pool like we used to have in the old school, because I would love that. Go in there and soak. You can have a lot of good exercises for seniors, because if you don't know, it works better in a pool than it does when you're in a workout room. And the second thing there is, last meeting, Madam Mayor, you said that this was community center for everybody around all these cities. Now you said it was just for Harper Woods. Now, if it is gonna be for other cities, they should be charged to go in there. Because see, what you need to do is what you used to do when you used to have to go in the park. Get a permit, show the permit, you're from Harper Woods, you go in. Now they should have to show a license, pay a $5 or $10 fee to go in there. Now, I wanna get through this stuff. I've been trying to talk to Heather about this tree across the street, and she doesn't know what to do and everything like that, and they told me my tree was okay. I picked up 42 sticks this long today on my front lawn. It's got leaves all over it. If you look at this, I've had tree people come out. This tree is diseased on my lawn because of the tree across the street. And I tried to explain to her. It's a very simple process. Bill showed me everything he did. He took a can of red paint, put big X's around the whole tree, called Point Garden. Well, in fact, what he did, he sent a letter to my house because he was on Bournemouth Street, and it actually was Sloan Drive. You put X's on there, call Point Gardens. Tell them they have 10 days to get the tree down, or you're gonna get a company to come there, take it down, or they're gonna pay for it. They had somebody out in 2 days taking that tree. This tree is almost 9 stories tall, and it was already measured. If that thing falls on my house, the whole front of my house is gonna be damaged. So I'm just telling you, that needs to be done. Now, I called Priority Health. I'm gonna give this to Heather so she can look at it. because I have my gloves. That's why I didn't want to touch it. I know you. When this contract, see, it's very easy. Now Priority Health has got a big lawsuit against them. I called and got our contract. And you people kept telling us that, oh no, recycling is too expensive. Well, if you look at the contract you signed, and this is a legal and binding thing because they're making us keep them for 3 more years. It's right there in what you signed. Recycling is already in there. They put the price in there. They cannot charge us anymore. So why is this the only city in the state of Michigan that doesn't have recycling? It's right in the contract, legal and binding. Now, Mr. Jenny, I see that you didn't put your name in, but you want to be a write-in. Well, I like the people to know here that anybody in the military, what you did. You run the AMVETS. There was a meeting there with the 9 Mile AMVETS in St. Clair Shores, and you kicked them out of the meeting. You should be ashamed of yourself. Oh, tell me I'm lying. My uncle belongs to it. He was there. He's a veteran of Vietnam and Korea. So that's what I'm saying. You should be ashamed of yourself. Yeah, try to deny it.
Is there anyone else? Okay, not seeing none, we will go to call the council, starting with you, Councilwoman Constantino.
Hello, yeah. One thing, well, I guess I'll get to the point. We've been in a state of flux for the last 5 years, having an acting city manager instead of a regular city manager. Now that we have a regular city manager, we are no longer going to be in this state of flux, hopefully. And I think we need to get back to business as it should be. We haven't had an ordinance committee meeting in a very, very long time. We need to get back to having the meeting as well as the meeting of other committees too. I think I'm hearing from so many people, not just at this meeting, but everywhere. And then a lot of these complaints are from my own neighborhood that I've been hearing about the air conditioners being stolen and things like that. That something is going on in the north end of Harper Woods, the precinct 5 area pretty much. And we need to step up police patrol and enforcement there. We pretty much need to step up patrol throughout the whole city, but that particular area, something weird's going on. I'm suspecting that it's probably a resident, since that part of the city, or a relative or friend of a resident. That part of the city is not exposed really to other cities so well. But there seems like a little crime bubble going on there, so we need to get to the bottom of that. I don't know if we can take a deeper look or have a task force or see what's going on. The other thing is I got my tax bills in the mail, and well, I brought them with me before anybody even said anything. And I didn't just get my taxes from Harper Woods, I got them for some other houses I have. And I feel our taxes are kind of disproportionate. And I want to make sure if we're going to have these high taxes, we're getting our money's worth. And I think increasing police presence would be part of that. But also, I want us to not rest on our laurels. I want us to continue to decrease our tax levy. I can show you, if you care to see it, the difference between pretty much the same thing and the same thing. And our taxes are quite a bit higher than they are in other places. Now, I'm not saying every other place, because I do know of some other cities in the state that have a also very high tax levy. But that's something I want us to continue. I am glad, for one thing though, that the taxes didn't go up. I looked at my tax numbers for this year and last year, and I'm glad they didn't go up, but I want us to keep knocking them down. So until our taxes become in line, because once our taxes go down, more young people are gonna wanna come invest in Harper Woods again, and our property values will go up. And we'll still collect just as much revenue, if not more, if our property values are up. But our tax
amounts are lower. Okay, Mr. Toussaint.
Anyway, I want to first comment on the Juneteenth presentation we had that our Deputy Director of Economic Development, Irma Hayes, sponsored. It came out very well, and I got to admit, with Wayne County Community College too being so flexible in where we had it, it was a success. You know, of course, it rained like crazy that day, and we were supposed to be outside, but we were flexible enough to be able to bring it inside. And I guess you would say that. And then some people said they liked it kind of better because the acoustics were better inside. And some people, you know, and some people commented that it was a little crowded, but what concert have you gone to that isn't crowded? So I just want to get my heads off to putting that together and the way we were able to make it be very successful, a lot of fun for everyone, and then didn't let the Mother Nature defeat us. I heard some comments in here about car thefts and air conditioning thefts in the neighborhood. And I always want to comment on car thefts. Harper Woods is very fortunate that just what everyone here has, and every time I comment on this, people get all upset. But Harper Woods has, everybody has a garage, for the most part, except if you're in the townhouses and some of the co-ops. And I do think the garages were designed to house and protect your automobile. But if you decide to use it for something else, then that's on you. But you know, you can't always blame the police if something happens to one of your most valuable assets that you decide to keep outside while you keep this other stuff, whatever that is, inside the garage. So just consider using your garage a little bit more if you want to maintain safety a little bit more and not have to worry the police as much about car thefts. Otherwise, move on.
All right, you're done?
I'm done.
All right. Just a couple of real quick things. First of all, I do also agree with what's going on at Pope Hard. I don't live in that specific area, but I have seen and I've gotten some calls from neighbors in the area. What I think my husband might have referred to as an attractive nuisance, a property that attracts children to the area because it is appealing for them to get into this, you know, this space, break windows, you know, walk off with stuff, whatever the case might be. Robertson Brothers has to step up their game. I don't know what the holdup is, but I really think that something's got to start happening there, and it's got to happen soon. The other thing I did want to point out, though, is that Harper Woods has a lot of really cool programs coming up. This summer, more than in the past, we've got a concert series that's taking place starting this week. We have free family movie nights that are going on. All of that's available on our website if you don't have the dates in front of you. I also noticed at the bottom of our website that there are houses that first right of refusal, meaning that Harper Woods, if a house goes into foreclosure or whatever, that people have the opportunity to purchase these houses, and the list is at the bottom of our website. So, Ms. Costantino, I know you're in the market for always buying houses around here. I thought I'd point that out.
Well,
but also,
disclaimer right quick, no elected officials can buy those homes.
Oh, okay, good.
Okay, so make sure that goes out first.
All right, very good. But
no elected officials or family members.
The library also has some wonderful programming coming up, including a tie-dye event tomorrow and Wednesday. And so please take advantage of these programs that are taking place right here in our community. Thank you.
I agree with this.
Mr. Jennings?
I've got nothing at this time.
Thank you.
I just want to remind people that National Night Out is coming up on August 5th. It's a Tuesday, I believe it's starting at 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock? Correct. Over at Johnston, is it Johnston this year?
Johnston.
Oh, yeah, Johnston Park, band, moonwalk, all kinds of activities. It's a really fun day for both kids and adults. That's on August 5th, and that the Beautification Commission is going to be out on Wednesday driving around, we've narrowed down the houses, and now we go out and pick which ones are going to get their award. So if you see somebody driving around slow, looking at your house, it's probably just us. And this is Wednesday night, so don't call the police unless they look really shady. So Tom won't be in the car.
I will not be in a
And I have to say, this air conditioner thing, I've looked it up, it's happening everywhere. They got, and I'm on the other side of the freeway, they got my neighbors in Harper Woods, they got my neighbors in Grosse Pointe Woods, they got somebody on the library that works at the library, they got theirs, they got a cage over theirs, and that's what the police are recommending, put a cage over, they're getting, and most of them are corner houses, but they're in Southfield, they're going to apartments, and they're just popping these things, and they got them in a car. So it's not just by Cheryl, by me, it's everywhere in southeastern Michigan. For some reason, I don't know what they're getting for them. $30, I don't know, to electrocute themselves or knock themselves out with Freon. So it's not just, it's an everywhere problem. But if you live in a corner house, put a cage. I saw what this one guy did. It's a cage he put over his new one so that hopefully they won't take it.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I just got a couple of things. One, to piggyback on what several council people said about the events that's coming up. If you look through that newsletter that we sent out, it's a list of all the dates on there. Many of the events that's coming out. We just had movie night, I think, last week.
Movie night started last Thursday. It's every other Thursday.
So movie night.
When the sun goes down.
Okay. So we have movie night. I think it's like 3 of them throughout the summer. There's going to be concerts in the park. We got the National Night Out. So we got a lot of events planned for our residents. They're all free. You can come out, enjoy yourselves all throughout the summer. Another thing, so I got a couple of things. G-Pass. I do remember a meeting we had not too long ago. It was a 6-month contract, which I think expired in June. And I know we might be continuing that contract, and I do wonder what became of that.
We'll have something by the next meeting.
Okay. All right. The other thing is that as city council, we often approve a lot of the work that's being done within the city. Sometimes I just wish that we vetted some of these companies just a little bit better. Some of them don't do as good work as they claim to do. And then 2 more. Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
Because he has been doing a wonderful job as acting city manager, doing the city manager's job. So, and I believe in you, Val, and I'm gonna end right there.
Thank you. You should pass those down. Pass those down. All right, what I'm just passing out to my colleagues right now is a press release. It's a flyer, and I'll have a few of them up here. It's for the groundbreaking for the Pocket Park. And the Pocket Park will be located on Ross Common and Dupree. I think it is Dupree, runs right into it. It's at 20321 Ross Common. And it's going to be Tuesday, July the 29th at 3 o'clock. And everybody's welcome for the groundbreaking. And we should be through with the Pocket Park within a month's time, I would say, at least. And we should be able to entertain and enjoy the Pocket Park. And so come out and see the renderings and, you know, understand what we are trying to do is to improve the quality of life for everybody here in Harper Woods. Also, we had a wonderful time at the movie, our first movie. I'm sorry that none of our city council members were able to make it, but I hope that you'll make it a point to make it to the concerts or the movies to make sure that we all participate in what we are trying to promote for the city of Harper Woods. So I thank everyone that did come, and the kids had a wonderful time. They got to look at a movie they wanted to see and dance around and jump around to the music, which they can't do when they're in a movie theater or something. So it was really nice, and I think they were tired when they got home. So the family was very happy. And eat popcorn and having a lemonade or whatever, but it was good. It was good. So hopefully, if you don't, we're having the movie nights is at the WC3 parking lot, and the concerts are held at Johnson Park. Starting this Thursday, we'll have the concert, and I can't remember the name. Irma's not here, she was sick today, so.
Pat Smiley.
Huh?
Pat Smiley Band.
Pat Smiley, okay. Band, and also if you are an entertainer or a comedy act or whatever, and would like to participate, please contact the recreational department, and we'll try to make sure that you have a stage to show your wares, you know, for free. So I thank everybody for coming today, and I appreciate you all. Mr. Jennings?
Madam Mayor, I'd love to make
Yes.
the motion for adjournment.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned.